One is your mind.
Ticket scratch, ticket scratch.
Give holiday scratch tickets from the South Dakota Lottery this year.
Everyone gets scratch tickets.
Good fun. Must be 18 to play. Please play responsibly.
Here's good news from Pro Auto Care if you're looking to economize your budget. Pro Auto Care can help you get more time and mileage out of your vehicle with regular maintenance and sensible, affordable repairs. Tom and his Pro Auto Care team will save you a lot of money without you having to replace your current vehicle. At Pro Auto Care, they find and repair small, inexpensive issues before they become big, expensive problems. Schedule an inspection of your vehicle now at Pro Auto Care. Open for business as usual at 1891 Rand Road, Rapid City.
In Rapid City, you've got a friend in real estate. Hi, I'm Ellen Roach. When buying or selling your home or property, Will Dixon is the man to see.
We'll invite you to experience the Keller Williams culture. Whether you're buying or selling, he can assist you through the entire process with a free market analysis and advise you on all your options. Will handles all phases of real estate and has built a track record for success. Call Will Dixon at Keller Williams Black Hills, 390-1140, and let him be your friend in real estate.
And 200, 2 and a quarter, 2 to the bid, 20 bomb, 50, want to get 250 here, 75, 275 now, 3.
Hi, folks. Kevin McPherson Auction Company. We can turn your property to cash. We can sell your personal property and your real estate at auction. A family business for 64 years and counting. We've sold several millions of dollars in property over the years. We're happy to consult with you on your auction plans. Let our selling experience work for you. Call McPherson Auction, 605-348-1369. Visit us on our web at mcphersonauction.com.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City. This is the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
We are Fox Sports! And here's what you need to know.
The Atlanta Journal-Constitution is reporting that Georgia defensive coordinator Dan Lanning is set to be the new head football coach at Oregon. There is no official word from either school about Lanning's departure or arrival. Multiple reports out of Oregon are saying that the report from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution is not accurate. We will continue to wait and see who the next head coach at Oregon is. We know that Kalani Sitake is going to be staying at BYU. He has signed a new contract with the school through 2027. Virginia finally hiring Clemson offensive coordinator Tony Elliott to be the Cavaliers' next head coach. Michigan's Jim Harbaugh, the AP Coach of the Year. Chargers have the Giants coming up on Sunday and will play without Keenan Allen, ruled out after testing positive for COVID. Head coach Brandon Staley believes that they'll have Mike Williams, who he thinks will clear protocols. Good news for the Giants is Mike Glennon cleared concussion protocol. He's going to start on Sunday. Lions placed running back Jamal Williams on the reserve COVID list.
It's time for the only live and local sports talk show in the Black Hills. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, live interviews, and local sports. Exclusively on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City. And streaming online right now at foxsportsrapidcity.com. From the biggest national names to the hottest local stories, welcome to the Nate Brown Show. Here's your host, Nate.
Oh, yes, good Friday afternoon. It's a Friday, not a FedEx Friday. It's a Friday. And the Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Rapid City. How you doing? Hopefully solid. It's always a great day in the Black Hills. A little snowy, a little wet, a little cool. A little 2-hour late start for the Rapid City Public Schools. And we're off and running, though, so we're going to get you into the weekend the right way with some NFL picks on the way. You haven't heard Matt Peralta on the show for a long time. He's got a new show. Matt Peralta, handicapper from Vegas. He's got a new show coming up on props.com starting Monday. He said, I got to get in on Friday with some picks. So Matt Peralta is in live from Las Vegas coming up, props.com, handicapper, taking a look at the NFL weekend. So we got you there. Reaction from Minnesota last night. Will Ragatz joins us, Vikings writer, SI, Sports Illustrated. He was at U.S. Bank Stadium last night. Will Ragatz on the way. We'll go down to Denver. A sad story dealing with the Denver Broncos, that just a tough one today. And then, of course, we have to get into the weekend of Broncos-Lions. Doug Ottewell reaction coming up. MileHighSports.com. Doug Ottawa live from Denver. And then on the South Dakota side, how about USD Athletic Director David Herbster? He had to make a trip to Florida this week. Why? We'll get into that and more. Talk FCS football and really just the overall structure of college sports right now with transferring and the whole thing. David Herbster is the athletic director for the Coyotes at USD, and he's going to join us live coming up next, as a matter of fact. And out to Sioux Falls tonight, Craig Maddox in on a Friday. South Dakota Public Broadcasting play-by-play man, Craig Maddox, live from Sioux Falls, talking high school sports and more. Okay, the Nate Brown Show brought to you in part by the Rehab Doctors, the non-operative experts in the Black Hills. If you have an injury, if you have pain, see the Rehab Doctors. I've done that myself. They got me up and running. Had a sciatic problem. They got me up and running. The Rehab Doctors for pain relief without surgery. Learn more at therehabdoctors.com. Again, take your first step to feeling better. Therehabdoctors.com. Throw out the number. Get you on tonight. 720-1067. Free for all Friday. Free for all Friday. 720-1067 on the Boss Pizzeria and Sports Bar Sports Line Live. Brought to you by the new Boss Pizzeria and Sports Bar. Have you hit it yet? Great place. Same great food, chicken and pizza from Boss, but at a new sports bar arena, now full bar. It's on La Crosse Street here in Rapid City. And the Barron's Wilson text line open and ready as well. 720-1067. 720-1067 on the Barron's Wilson text line. Okay, where are we going to start today? Well, you know, I mean, I don't know. Let's see. Have we started Vikings 3 out of 5 shows? I mean, and I just go through the topics here and saying, okay, what are people looking at? What are people reacting to? Of course, in this area, in this region, we're trying to figure out, where are the Vikings going? I was wrong yesterday. I mean, so this is just typical. It's just typical. The Vikings get beat by the Lions, and then they blast the Steelers, at least for 3 quarters, or so to speak. They blast the Steelers. They got a little interesting last night, a little too interesting for my brother and my buddy who's a Vikings fan. He was texting before the game was over. He was kind of spouting off, and then he then he said, "Why did I do that? I should never do that." And of course, they almost lost. But this is the deal with the Vikings. I said last night I didn't think it was going to happen. I thought the Steelers were in the playoff race. I thought they would bring it. Well, they did, but for like a quarter. I mean, they really brought it in a quarter, and it got really troublesome. But the Vikings hang on, really a drop pass away in the end zone and a 2-point conversion of possible, I mean, that was possible catastrophe last night. I'm telling you, you're up 29-0, late third quarter, 29-0. That was going to be one of the all-timers. Vikings hang on, so end of story. They're fine. But what is this Vikings team? I thought they would get beat last night. They didn't. And now they're sitting here 1 game away, from being back at 500. And guess who they play next week? The Bears. They play the Bears Monday Night Football. So now I'm sitting here going, are the Vikings going to get back in this thing? They're out of it. They're in it. They're out of it. They almost had catastrophe last night. That was unbelievable. That was an embarrassment, again, on the defensive side, for the most part. Really, really good there in the first half, and then just total disaster in the second half. If they beat the Bears Monday Night Football next week, they're back at 500, and then the Vikings fans keep thinking, we're right there. We might be there. So I ask a question of the day with Vikings fans today. I really want to know this. I want to know where we really are at on this Friday after that wild one last night. If the Vikings sneak into the playoffs somehow, the NFC is not a juggernaut, okay? They have a chance. If they beat the Bears, they're back at 500. They're right in the mix. If they sneak into the playoffs, do you bring Mike Zimmer back? I called Mike Zimmer dead man walking here this week. I thought it was over. Lions lost. They're going to miss the playoffs. He's out. If they somehow get in, is Mike Zimmer coming back? Or would you bring him back? That's my question of the day. Let's go to the phones. Thanks for calling. You're live today, and you go ahead.
Hey, what's up, Nate? How you doing, man?
What's up, Brett?
Hey, man. Just being a regional sports fan, I gotta, the Vikings. I'll throw some love their way just because.
You will.
It's regional, man. It's regional. They're a part of this group that we call home in the Lakota Dakota territory of South Dakota. Man, this place has been more than willing to give me a place to live in, and so you know what, those Vikings. I tell you what, they almost went ahead and gave the game back. They got spotted 23 points right off the bat, and before Pittsburgh even scored a touchdown.
Oh, it was wild.
These guys are gonna, yeah. But I couldn't tell if it was the limp arm of the already retired, but he hasn't told anybody, Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, this is it. He's done after this. We know that, Brett. Right?
Yeah. He was done 2 years ago. He just didn't tell anybody.
No, I feel you on that. I was surprised he came back this year.
Paychecks.
Really, I was surprised he came back.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, just objective view, Brett, because you're a Broncos guy through and through. If the Vikings get to the playoffs, do you bring Mike Zimmer back? Just getting in. Do you bring him back?
I don't know the ins and outs of the Vikings organization and whether or not they could or couldn't, or would they bring in somebody better. But I do think that if they got into the playoffs, they could probably run the table because there's not very much in the NFC that's going to fight them. They've got a good opportunity if they even get in, I think. But, as far as the coaching situation goes, I don't know that much about it. I'm more concerned about my Broncos getting sold to some company that's going to get, that's going to push them out of Colorado.
We're fine. We're fine.
They're getting sold though, Nate.
Yeah,
and
they
that's
are.
It's kind of scary.
All right.
All right,
buddy.
Speaking of the Broncos, I just want to real quick before I let you go, my man. I want to give an RIP to one of the greatest wide receivers to ever don the orange and blue, in Demaryius Thomas. 33 years old is way too young to be dying, and they're saying now that it's
sad deal.
Yeah, man, and they're saying it's possible seizures because of like head impact and stuff like that. So, it's like this game has got to figure out what's going on with it, because I love the game of football. I love watching it, and but you put these kids in Pop Warner, and then you throw them into high school, and then from high school into college, and college, if they are good enough, into the pros, and these guys have been getting their heads just smashed and wobbled around for their whole lives, and then this is the result of it. And
let's hope not. They said seizures, and he's been suffering from them here for a little while. Let's hope not. I guess we'll see, but let's hope not. It's a sad day nonetheless. It was sad, very sad. He's a real guy. Great guy.
Yeah, I got a chance to meet him, talk to him out at Dove Valley in Inglewood, and the guy is 1,000% exactly what you saw on TV when you've seen that big, bright smile.
That's
that guy
stuff.
is.
That's what everybody said. He's a real guy, real good guy. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate
really
that.
Is, and he was more than caring, more than giving. And then also, let's give a heads up to my man Justin Simmons, rocking that 31. For getting another Walter Payton Man of the Year award nomination.
That's another good guy.
I think that's three in a row. I think that's 3 years in a row now, or maybe 4 in a row. And let's hope that maybe this time they can maybe shine a little light on him and show that guy deserves to get that award, because he's one of the best dudes on the planet. And again, another person that I met, my cousins have met, and
that's good stuff.
My little cousins, he signed their footballs and stuff like that. He is one of the best people that you'll ever meet on the planet. And
good shout
so
outs,
between
buddy.
him and DT, R.I.P. DT, and let's go get a win, Justin Simmons.
All right, buddy. Thanks, Brett. Appreciate it.
Thank
good
you,
stuff.
Nate. You be good, man. We'll catch you on the flip side. All right.
All right. I appreciate that. It's a sad day. I'm going to get into that with Doug Ottewill. That tough news out of Denver today. Former Broncos great Demaryius Thomas last night. That's when that came out last night. Passing away at 33 years old. We'll talk to Doug Ottewill. Some reaction from Denver coming up. I do want to get this poll question going. I want to get the poll question going with Mike Zimmer and the Minnesota Vikings. Okay, 720-1067 on the Nate Brown Show. Question of the day. You tell me, guys. I've been covering this closely, and I feel like it's just a done deal that Mike Zimmer is not going to be there. If they don't make the playoffs, that's a given. Okay, so that was easy. If they somehow beat the Bears Monday Night Football, they're now 7-7. They're in the mix. A one win or two, and you might be sitting good for the playoffs. Is Mike Zimmer coming back? Do you bring him back? I feel like the Vikings Skull Nation here is starting to wane on Mike Zimmer no matter what. But this is what happened with the Bears. Matt Nagy was looking like he was going to get fired last year. And what happened? They sneak into the playoffs. Well, we're gonna give him another year, and how's that gone? Terribly. The worst year he's had. If the Vikings sneak into the playoffs, do you bring Mike Zimmer back? Listener text coming in. Let's hang on here. As a Vikings fan, they now have us believing. Well, yeah, and he predicted last night that they would win. He said, but I missed it. We only won by 8. I thought we'd win by 10. Nice prediction last night. See, and that's the crutch here with the Vikings. I didn't think they would get that done last night. And then I'm sitting here watching this thing. It's 29-0. 29-0. And they almost lost it. And that's where I say that was almost a big giveaway by Mike Zimmer's defense. Again, and you can say, well, a turnover here, that caused that. Yeah, there was a couple there that Kirk threw. One that got tipped barely off of Justin Jefferson into the hands. That was a mess. And then one bad pass there in the fourth quarter. A bad pass, the receiver kind of stopped. Kirk threw a bad pass, and that turned into a bad deal. And the Vikings were on the verge of giving up a massive lead. Listener text coming in on Mike Zimmer and the Vikings. Not so fast, my friend. I'm betting the Bears all day long next Monday night. Oh, boy. Oh, is that really how we do this? Is that the Vikings, really? I mean, we don't have any consistency along the way. Beat the Chargers. Beat the Packers. Lose to the Lions. Beat the Steelers. And now you're telling me they'd lose to the Bears? So what that tells me is you're not going to bring back Mike Zimmer. Even if you somehow, some way sneak into the 7th seed into the playoffs, I don't think I'm going to hold firm with what I said Monday. Okay? It was a reaction Monday, 4 days ago, and the Vikings lost to the Lions was a devastator. Now they come right back short week and they win at home against the Steelers. It was almost another devastator. That would have been worse last night, the way they would have lost that. That would have been worse than the Lions loss, believe me. So I'm gonna hold that Mike Zimmer's out, even if they do make the playoffs. Would you buy that? Let's see. If the Vikings sneak into the playoffs, do you bring Mike Zimmer back? Because, by the way, they're in the race now. The nail was not put in the coffin last night as I thought it would be. It was not put in there. There's new life. There's new life in Viking country. But 68% of the audience checking in on the Nate Brown Show question of the day, 68% say even if the Vikings get to the playoffs, that's not good enough for Mike Zimmer. That's a big number. 68% would not bring him back. 32% say if they get into the playoffs, that's all you can ask. That is all you can ask, and you would bring Mike Zimmer back. 1 out of 3 people would bring Mike Zimmer back. 68% still holding firm. No, that's not good enough. It's this for me. What if there's any success in the playoffs? And that's what this listener text coming in, 720-1067. I'd say no, Nate, not just by getting there, but maybe if they win their first round game. I don't know about that one. I suppose all of that matters. Vikings get in and they get a win in the playoffs. Does that matter? And then Mike comes back. It just feels like a lot of Vikings country, a lot of the Vikings fan base from this really inconsistent season, and I mean it has been up and down this year. I think people are done with it. 1-3 holding that if you get to the playoffs, you're going to bring Mike Zimmer back. 68% say no. And then you talk about getting a win there. Well, the Bears didn't, but they got to the playoffs. It's hard to fire coaches now getting to the playoffs. But I still feel like Mike's on that list. I really, really do. Will Raggett's coming up later this hour soon. Vikings writer, Sports Illustrated. I'll get his reaction on it. We'll pick the best NFL games of the weekend with Matt Peralt, handicapperprops.com, live from Vegas. But first we go college. USD Athletic Director David Herbster. The big picture of college sports right now and being an athletic director. Plus, he had to go to Florida this week. David Herbster had to go to Florida. USD making national headlines. It's all on the way.
From high school to college to the pros, this is the Nate Brown Show on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM Fox Sports.
Make a great investment this Black Friday. Renewal by Anderson's awesome Black Friday event is backed by popular demand. Don't wait another day. This is incredible. 20% off every window plus a Visa gift card up to $1,500. No money down, no interest, no payments for 18 months. You don't pay a dime until 2023. Make a fantastic investment. Act fast. This incredible offer runs from Black Friday, November 26th through December 10th only. But don't wait. Book your free estimate right now at RBARapidCity.com. Renewal by Anderson's Black Friday sale is back.
Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Partly cloudy skies tonight with a low of 13. Winds out of the west 8 to 15 miles per hour. Mainly clear skies and quiet tomorrow. Daytime highs approaching 38. Mainly clear skies and quiet again tomorrow night. Lows dip down to about 28. Dry with temperatures a bit above average Sunday and Monday, and highs in the upper 40s. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 26.
Happy Honda Days. We have a special gift for you. We have as low as 0% on some of our most popular models. That's right, you could be driving a 22 Honda HR-V featuring Magic Seat with long and tall modes, allowing for gear up to 8 feet long and 4 feet tall, or a Pilot with Cabin Talk. Talk to rear passengers with ease, both for just 0% or for just 1.9% for up to 5 years. Choose a 21 Honda Accord and get amazing gas mileage, 48 miles per gallon. We will see you soon at Denny Menholt, Rushmore Honda. See dealer for details.
Here at Pizza Ranch, our 40-year birthday celebration is busting out of the gate like a bucking bronco. An all-meat Bronco pizza, that is. Strap in, because we're throwing back prices to 1981 for our #1 specialty pizza all month long. $10.25 for a large, $8 for a medium, and $5.50 for a small. Need more Bronco? Enter daily at pizzaranch.com for a chance to win a 2021 Ford Bronco or other prizes. No purchase necessary until 12/31/21. See official rules at pizzaranch.com.
Not all trusts fit in a box. We do our best to put a personal touch on each one and really listen to our customers and make sure that we take care of them the very best that we can.
We are going to apply the best of our knowledge and ability and care to really analyze our situation and find all the best solutions that we possibly can.
We customize what we do to what you need. Pioneer Bank and Trust is local.
All right, guys, if you need a haircut, the one place I go every time is the Man Salon. And there's a reason for it. They just do the best job. You get a great haircut with your personal stylist. I can watch a game or whatever I want in my own station. Then I get shampoo, hot towel, shoulder massage, all at a great price at the Man Salon. 2 convenient locations for you at Rushmore Crossing and on West Main. The Man Salon offers a military discount for active and retired military. For your next appointment, just book at themansalon.net.
At Terrell Tires in the Speed Center, we let our customers do the talking.
Very well-maintained tire and speed shop, over-the-top service, and very reasonably priced. Need I say more?
Scott and crew at Terrell Tires have always gone over and beyond for us. Great prices for great tires. Also, anytime we've needed odd-sized tires for ranch equipment, Scott gets us what we need.
Great customer service. Spent plenty of time answering all of our questions, and the truck looks awesome with the new rims.
Terrell Tires in the Speed Center, 105 North Campbell Street, Rapid City.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Hey, welcome back in. It's a Friday in the Nate Brown Show, South Dakota Sports Talk Show here on 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City. Thanks for checking in on the radio side. Also on Twitter, you can watch us anywhere on your phone, live in studio camera, streaming there on Twitter at Nate Brown Show. The live stream there at Nate Brown Show on Twitter, and YouTube is up and running. The Nate Brown Show on YouTube. Every live show and archive show there on YouTube as well. Good hits this week. Good stuff. People watching throughout the region. Let's go to Vermilion. Well, they got some snow like we did here. Kind of hit us and moved that way. Pretty big system. I think, what did we get? 5 inches around there? I mean, I have to clean off this Fox Sports Rapid City satellite every morning. Give me a good workout, though. And this guy's working, too, tonight. They got a little snow in Vermilion, but they got basketball, too, women's basketball tonight at USD. I want to talk college sports and Coyote athletics. David Herbster, USD Athletic Director, joining us on a Friday on the Nate Brown Show. David, thanks for coming on. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on, Nate.
Thanks for your time. I know it's busy. You got basketball tonight, so thanks for checking in. I want to start with this. You went to Florida this week, and now you're back in Vermilion, the real world with snow. But you went to Florida, and I was like, hey, they're going on a vacation. Well, it was a nice little trip, and it was an unbelievable opportunity. The USD, the National Play of the Year, the Hail Mary, the win over South Dakota State. Did you ever think that would hit that level?
I really did. I didn't. And, you don't really think about it in that moment. You think about it that from the perspective of the win, the moment, and the catch. And but, it really never crossed our minds that it was going to be on the ropes for a National Play of the Year. So, again, we got the call. It was really about 2 weeks afterwards. It was right before Thanksgiving when they told us that we were one of the nominees. And so get through Thanksgiving, and, of course, that was the playoff weekend. And then really quickly after that, you started to put some things in motion, and we're trying to determine, okay, are we a nominee? Is this a real thing? And they did let us know that it was the real thing, that we were going. There were 4 nominees, but we were the ones that were going to win it. So that at that moment is pretty special. But now you're like, okay, how the heck do we get there? How do we do this? So threw our heads together real quick. And the challenging part was, think about this, Nate, this is finals week. So
yeah, right. Right.
We had to get them out and try to get them there and back as quickly as we could. So we had an alum, former football player, Scott Jones, who has access to a private jet, and so we flew down there Tuesday and came back Wednesday morning. So it was a quick trip.
That was really neat. It's the Sports Illustrated National Play of the Year, the USD Hail Mary. Unbelievable play. I mean, I watched it over and over and over, and the Coyotes beat the Jackrabbits on the last play in that rivalry. It was something else. The experience there at the Sports Illustrated banquet, Tom Brady was there. Huge names were there. What was that like, David, having your student athletes there and having that experience?
Oh, that was something special, because these are, Tom Brady was there. Dan Marino was there. You had Gronk there. So you had Ray Lewis was there. Chad Johnson was there. So from a football perspective, a lot of names. And for those guys, their eyes were just wide open. And it was good. They were quick interactions, but they were, to have that, to be on that stage, I think for our guys was, even like they said, this is a little surreal to be at the same ceremony getting an award with people like Ray Lewis, who was presenting one, or it was Tom Brady was the Sportsman of the Year. So for them, it was a little surreal.
Yeah, I bet that. That's a neat opportunity. USD's Hail Mary, and the guys who executed it got the Play of the Year, the National Play of the Year, the banquet, the Sports Illustrated night presented Tom Brady with the Sportsman of the Year. That was a busy week. So now you're back to it. Let's talk USD. I'll stay in football really quick. Made the FCS playoffs, and it was an exit there in that first round. When it comes to USD football, how do you feel right now? A program that has made the playoffs here over the last few years. What's the next step?
I think the next step really for this group is making the playoffs consistently, not just once every few years, every year. And then our next progression really is going to be to start winning some games in the playoffs. I think the foundation is certainly set. I think that, from the coaching staff to the players, the one thing I really liked about this team, it wasn't just one leader on the team. It wasn't just a quarterback that was the cheerleader for everybody. We had guys on both sides of the ball that were leaders for everybody else. And as those individuals graduate, and most of those were major contributors, we're really, really young coming up. And so now COVID plays a little part in that. But eligibility-wise, we have a lot of freshmen, if you will, because of COVID. And so, those guys would even tell you that, hey, we know what this means. We know how to lead. These guys have shown us the way. So they've got to gravitate and grab hold of that and then work as hard in the off season that they did back in the spring if we want to have and maintain this type of success.
David, how would you evaluate this? I worked in college athletics for a while, and it was always a challenge. We're trying to figure out, how do we get crowds in here, excitement in here? We can have some great product. I mean, you've got some good programs now, okay? You've got great facilities now. The Sanford Center, the Dome, and all the things that have been done there, that's spectacular. How do you evaluate where you're at right now with your following and fan base? Where do we go?
It's a good question because I think our following is pretty big. Now, granted, we can say that from a social media standpoint. And, over the past, through COVID, we were actually one of the top 5 FCS programs in the country for our social media following. Well, that's great. What we got to do is turn that into butts in the seats. And so we've had, I will tell you, it's a challenge. It was a challenge this year in football, even when you're winning, and early season for basketball for us has always been a challenge because I don't think people yet have moved away from football and are fully vested in basketball yet.
Right.
But that's our big challenge. We have a 6,000-seat arena, and you want to be able to fill it, at least get it. You can get 50%. You get 3,000 people in there, it's going to be one of the loudest places you'll ever be. And so getting people in is what our team works on week in and week out, and between promotions and bringing in halftime acts and doing special, not discounts, but promotions or buy one, get one free offers to different and various communities, just trying to get people in here. Because once you're in here, it's a really nice place to watch a game. It's really high-level basketball, and it's easy to get to.
Yeah.
So and this is one of those things that we're finding all over the country. College marketers are scratching their heads on, okay, how do we get these people to actually show up?
Okay, I was wondering that because I just saw North Dakota State. We all know about that football program. They had a small crowd last week. I mean, they had a small crowd, and people say, well, maybe it's the opponent, or maybe fans are bored with North Dakota State. They win so much. I'm just wondering, what do we attribute this to? You said we had a good football program. Couldn't get a huge crowd. South Dakota State struggled with it last year. Now, maybe COVID sneaks in there a little, but it's something going on, I think. What do you attribute it to?
I think a little bit is how easily accessible our games are, whether it's on TV, whether it's streaming it, put it on your laptop, your phone, radio. There's so many other ways to consume it. And whether that might be part of it. The other part of it is we have to make sure that you're not pricing yourself out of the market and what people are willing or ready to pay. Case in point, when you talked about North Dakota State in their playoff game, when we played them up there last game of the year, they usually sell out every single game. There were probably only about 14,000 people there in a 19,000-seat facility. Now, that's still pretty good, right? 70% full. But for them, it's been unusual to see as many empty seats in there. And that was a game, too, that, I mean, had we won that game, we would have shared the conference championship with North Dakota State. So it's like there was something on the line there, but I don't know where they're going yet. Where are they turning to not come to the game?
Yeah, it's something I've been trying to figure out as well. I know there's a lot of things pulling at us. We have kids' games and this and that responsibility. I think people are really, really busy. But I'll tell you, I've been trying to say, you want to watch USD here. The Coyotes have some things going on. David Herbster, USD Athletic Director. I'll let him run after a couple more. He's got women's basketball tonight at USD's at home. So I look at it, I see FCS, and I see a lot of transfers this year. Now, there's transfers across the board, David, even FBS, but I see a lot of FCS transferring going on, especially in football right here, right now, because the early signing period's next week. Do you think this is going to keep on growing and growing? The transfer portal is really, really full.
Yeah, good question. I don't know how much more it grows. Having the transfer portal is actually a good thing, right? Because it keeps everybody on the same playing field. What really has blown up for football and will it'll happen in basketballs too come the spring, but now you're eligible right away. Where before you had to sit out a year. So now you can transfer and be eligible to play right away, FBS to FBS or FCS to, whatever it is. And so I think people are like, look, I'm not happy here. I want to go somewhere where I can play. I'm also seeing a lot right now grad transfers, people that are graduating because of COVID. They might have 1 or 2 years left, and they're going to transfer and try to go find somewhere else. We've had quite a few transfers out of the program this year, and it comes down to guys that want to go somewhere where they can play. So I think it's here to stay. I really do. I think we just have to figure out and navigate how do we use it or how do we work it, in a sense that because you don't want to lose players, but I also want the players. My whole thing for players, I want you to go somewhere and graduate. And so if playing is a big part of that, and you can't play here, well then go somewhere where you can play and graduate.
David Herbster on tonight, USD Athletic Director, talking Coyote Athletics. NCAA President Mark Emmert said yesterday, trust within college athletics is suffering with the conference realignment and people doing secretive things, or we're going to go here, and people don't. Trust is suffering. Do you think that's the case?
I think there is a little bit of that. I just think I look at the Summit League, and again, I haven't talked to the ADs at Omaha or Kansas City, but if you listen to the rumor mill, they're rumored to be potentially going to the Missouri Valley Conference, and you're like, okay, well, we just had a meeting 2 weeks ago, and this never comes up. But I also realize when you're looking at a conference affiliation, you have to keep all those conversations in confidence. You certainly don't want to, burn a bridge if you never end up leaving, but you don't want to tip a hand if you are going somewhere else and that other conference isn't ready for it. So, but it just seems like some of these things are just happening underhanded, or why are they happening? But every campus has, kind of a purpose and a reason for why they do it. But I don't disagree with Mark Emmert on that. I think there is a little bit of mistrust because you hear all these things. There are all these rumors. You're really wondering, even in our own conference with individuals that are your peers or you even consider friends, what are your true intentions as far as your membership in a conference?
Yeah, it's interesting. A lot of movement, a lot of shaking going on. Really quick, have you seen name, image, and likeness make its way there at USD with some athletes? I know there was a few deals I was hearing about. How have you guys handled name, image, and likeness here over the last 5 months?
We've got probably about 45 or 50 athletes that have an NIL, if you will, and they range from discounts to products to maybe upwards of $1,000. And so we were not seeing the big influx of money. And what I think what our student athletes are finding out, and as we walk them through the process and we review contracts to make sure that they don't jeopardize their eligibility, they're not. You're expected to do a lot and not necessarily get a lot in return. So you really have to, answer the question to yourself: is this something that I really want to do and we really want to get into? If it's dealing with like social media and being a brand ambassador, you have a lot of obligations as far as posting and things like that. That's how you end up getting paid if that's what it comes down to. So you've really got to activate it, and it can be in some cases like just think about it as a job, that this is what you're obligated to. So it's not huge. I'm not saying it's not going to get bigger. My hope is that if they can take advantage of it, then take advantage of it. I mean, that's what it's there for.
Does it stretch the compliance department trying to keep track of all this stuff?
Immensely, because you add all this onto a plate. You add this all into a plate that's already full. So now you put this on top of it. I mean, we review every contract and every agreement to make sure that they don't jeopardize their eligibility. But after that, it's really difficult to keep up to date on what everybody is doing.
Yeah.
We have 450 athletes. How do you know what each one is doing and posting or saying or whatever it is? So that in itself is a challenge. So they certainly, and we entered into this legislation in this era, and the athletes are the ones that can really benefit and are supposed to benefit from it. But from an athletic standpoint, there's no additional resources or manpower to allocate towards it. In some cases, like in our world, at the FCS level, your compliance offices are stretched pretty thin. If you're at Oklahoma, you probably have 12 people working in compliance, and you can dedicate some more resources to it.
I'll tell you, new world of college sports, really interesting to me. I find it intriguing, and you guys are in the middle of it. David Herbster doing a nice job at USD, athletic director for the Coyotes. We'll let you get to it. Women's basketball tonight, David. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate you, man.
You bet. I appreciate your time. David Herbster tonight on Fox Sports Rapid City, USD Athletic Director. The Coyotes have some things rolling. They really do. They've been working on this, man. You got to think about the big picture here. Go all the way back to where they were and now where they are with the Sanford Coyotes Center. That's a phenomenal basketball facility. It really is. And basketball, volleyball. And you look at the Dome and the renovations there. That's been outstanding. If you went to the Dome and the football championships, for example, or maybe to the USD SDSU game, that's outstanding. So they've made some big strides. And now things just keep changing, man. The world of college sports keeps changing. Transfers, name, image, and likeness, transfer portal. There's a lot of things popping. David Herbster on tonight, USD Athletic Director. Interesting. Listener text. Nate, I played sports at USD. How can we fill the new and incredible Dome? That's what we discussed there. It is a situation here in college athletics, namely, and I don't think that's the only one, but SDSU, USD, North Dakota State. These are some pretty good programs here right in our backyard, okay? Right here. They're having a tougher time getting crowds to games. South Dakota State was better this year. They were better, but then there's been some games where nobody's showing up. I mean, the Jackrabbits were in the national championship, so I'd hate to see it if these teams weren't competitive. What would it look like? So where do you think that's at? I mean, I've thought about this for a while. Why do we not go to live sporting events on the college level, so to speak, maybe at the rate people used to? I think there's a couple of things. I do think people are very busy on weekends with family here, family there, youth sports game here. I really believe that. So you got some of the parents and some of those folks with some of that income that they can go to the games. They're going to this tournament and that tournament, in this town and that town. I think that's a big factor. And then I think he touched on the other one. It's easily accessible here. I don't have to go to a 3.5-hour college football game. Bring it right up on my phone, TV, computer, highlights, the whole thing, right? I think those are both big factors now. Maybe there's more to it. College crowds have been down. And North Dakota State, they're giving away tickets for their playoff game tomorrow. North Dakota State, Bison, giving away tickets for their game tomorrow. Coming right back, let's talk Vikings. Will Ragatz is in, Vikings writer, Sports Illustrated. What's the reaction from last night? Boy, oh boy, would you bring Mike Zimmer back if he makes the playoffs? We'll continue to answer the question of the day. It's on the way. Will's next.
You're listening to the only live and local sports talk show in the Black Hills. The Nate Brown Show on FoxSportsRapidCity.com and live on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM Fox Sports Rapid
At Terrell Tires in the Speed Center, we let our customers do the talking.
Very well maintained tire and speed shop, over the top service, and very reasonably priced. Need I say more?
Scott and crew at Terrell Tires have always gone over and beyond for us. Great prices for great tires. Also, anytime we've needed odd-sized tires for ranch equipment, Scott gets us what we need.
Great customer service. Spent plenty of time answering all of our questions, and the truck looks awesome with the new rims.
Terrell Tires in the Speed Center, 105 North Campbell Street, Rapid City.
Make a great investment this Black Friday. Renewal by Anderson's awesome Black Friday event is backed by popular demand. Don't wait another day. This is incredible. 20% off every window plus a Visa gift card up to $1,500. No money down, no interest, no payments for 18 months. You don't pay a dime until 2023. Make a fantastic investment. Act fast. This incredible offer runs from Black Friday, November 26th through December 10th only. But don't wait. Book your free estimate right now at RBARapidCity.com. Renewal by Anderson's Black Friday sale is back.
Into Deadwood.
Insurance. We all need it to protect our homes, health, businesses, and belongings. But having adequate coverage is just the beginning. You also need the support of professionals who stand by your side to protect what's important to you. Fisher Rounds & Associates combines the coverage you want with the commitment you need. Fisher Rounds & Associates. At your service, at your side. With offices in Pierre, Mitchell, Watertown, Sioux Falls, and Rapid City.
Low-Fees Holiday Sweepstakes is back. The Bakers of Country Hearth would like to put a little more jingle in your holiday this season by giving you a chance to win one of two $500 prizes or the grand prize of $1,000. Winners will each receive a check that can be used for travel, gifts, or just celebrating with family and friends, whatever makes their holiday more jolly. For complete rules and to enter for your chance to win, visit countryhearthbreads.com/sweeps.
There can be no doubt, losing a loved one is always difficult. At O. Simon Schmidt Funeral Home, we strive to meet your emotional needs with compassion, kindness, and understanding. The caring staff at O. Simon Schmidt Funeral Home recognizes the importance of celebrating a life that was lived with dignity, respect, and professionalism, serving local families in their special time of need for generations. O. Simon Schmidt Funeral Home, Rapid City. Phone 343-0077 or visit osimschmidt.com.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Welcome back in the Nate Brown Show on a Friday on Fox Sports Rapid City. Coming up, Matt Peralt, live from Las Vegas, NFL handicapper, props.com. He's got a new show he's launching Monday. He's from Boston. He's a big Patriots guy, okay? I don't hold it against him. I invite him on the show. It's going to be called The Bostonian versus the Book. And Matt Peralt, live from Vegas. We're going to pick some NFL games this weekend. Let's see which way Matt's leaning for our bets this weekend at BetMGM Sportsbook, Tin Lizzy. All right. Okay, Will Ragatz covered the game last night. Vikings writer, Sports Illustrated. Find his work there, SI.com. Follow him on Twitter. Great follow, at Will Ragatz. Easy to find him, at Will Ragatz. SI.com, Sports Illustrated writer. U.S. Bank Stadium tonight where the Vikings hang on. And literally, I mean, they hang on. It was dicey. I think it would have been, I don't know, the worst loss maybe I've seen in quite some time if they gave that thing up 29-0, and it got dicey, and they hang on. So now just one win away from 500, a win over the Bears next Monday night. They're right there. Isn't that the Vikings this year? Will, thanks for the time. How are you?
I'm doing all right. That was something else last night at the stadium. I finally thought that I was going to be able to so I write a rapid game story, no quotes or anything, just kind of my initial analysis and reaction. And I haven't been able to finish it right away since the Seahawks game in Week 3 because the games are always coming down to the final play. And I thought I was finally going to be able to have a relaxing second half and get my story done right as the final whistle went off. And no, they had to make it dramatic again. But man, that was something else. You can't say they're not entertaining.
Oh, it's wild. I mean, I had a buddy texting me. He's not a Vikings fan. He goes, uh-oh, and he kept saying, oh, boy. He goes, now I got to stay up and watch this thing? I thought I was going to get to bed early. So let me ask you, really. I mean, that was a disaster there. It was 29-0, dominating. We're talking late third quarter, 29-0, Will. And then the wheels fall off. What do you point to? There was a turnover here, a turnover there, bad defense everywhere. What do you point to? Why do the Vikings can't close deals?
Yeah, it's really a bizarre thing. And, I mean, it would have been the biggest comeback in NFL regular season history.
Okay, I was wondering about that. Okay.
Yeah, 28 is the record. The all-time record is 32, which was in the playoffs. That was the Frank Reich Bills comeback in the 1992 playoffs against the Oilers. But, yeah, I mean, you go up 29-0, and we're talking about 29-0 late in the third quarter. And the Steelers hadn't gotten anything going all day. And then the Vikings just managed to give up a 20-0 run in like 5 minutes of game time. Cousins threw a couple interceptions that weren't really his fault. There was one that was kind of tipped, one off Jefferson's hands. One where KJ Osborne was running a slant and kind of didn't get the right inside positioning. So
yeah, he stopped.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, he might have gotten tripped up, but there's just so many things that you can point to. Like, even in the first half, they settle for field goals. And then in the third quarter, a couple times, they settle for field goals when they could be really burying teams. But still, I mean, you're up 29-0, and then they just aren't tackling, and they are giving up one-on-one catches. The cornerbacks weren't playing very well at all. They're committing penalties. It just seemed like everything flipped on both sides of the ball after such a incredibly dominant first half. And you start to wonder, like, okay, what's the psychological aspect here? Because I mean, Mike Zimmer said it, like he was thinking the whole time as it was happening, here we go again. And you wonder if that's creeping into the minds of the players, and what kind of impact that has.
Doesn't it? I mean, it has to be. When you play sports, you think, oh, I hope this doesn't happen again. I hope this doesn't happen. You play not to lose, and instead of, hey, we're whipping these guys, man. We're getting after these guys.
Yeah, and you like to think that, you know, professional athletes, NFL players, the best of the best, that they can kind of put that to the side and focus. But I mean, they're human too. It's just a natural thing to when every game has come down to the very end and you've blown leads. I mean, they've had a 6-point lead in every game this year, and sometimes 2-score leads, and it gets down like this, and there doesn't seem to be any one thing that they're doing wrong. It just, I don't know. I'm still kind of trying to wrap my head around how it happened. And the important thing is they got the win. They keep their hopes alive for the playoffs. And 4 games left. They got to figure out a way to get some leads and just kind of not let up.
Okay, they got the Bears a couple of times, and that's the next one next Monday night. Monday Night Football, Bears. They could get back to 500. They're really in the playoff race at that point. They are in the NFC playoff race at that point. So let me just ask you this. I know we're still 4 games left. If the Vikings sneak into the playoffs, is that enough for Mike Zimmer to come back?
It's a good question. I kind of feel like it shouldn't be. Just the way this whole season has played out. I don't know what the Wilfs will decide, but you lose to the Lions, you almost blow a 29-0 lead. I mean, I don't know if anything last night was particularly Zimmer's fault per se, but he's the head coach, and we've seen this all year. It just seems like they've kind of hit their ceiling with him running the show. So I don't know. I think they could be making a mistake if they let a little run here down the stretch, sneaking into the playoffs, losing in the first round, maybe winning a game, influence the long-term decision-making. But it's still such an interesting situation because, like you said, they are right in the mix. The 6 and 7 seeds of the NFC are not particularly good. The teams competing for that, I mean, they're a game behind Washington and San Francisco heading into Sunday. And Zimmer said it. That team that played in the first half against the Steelers can beat anybody. And he's right. I mean, we've seen this team beat the Packers. They should have beat the Cardinals. Those are 2 of the best teams in the league. Like
right.
when they're on, it's a good team. They got talent on both sides of the ball. I think that's why it's been such a frustrating roller coaster for fans that they haven't been living up to that potential. So, these four games could potentially save Zimmer's job, but I don't know if they should.
I asked my audience that. Just a quick question of the day on Twitter. If the Vikings sink into the playoffs, do you bring Mike Zimmer back? 72% of the audience says, no, that's not good enough. 28% says, yeah, that's all you can ask. So that's pretty weighted. Vikings writer, SI.com. It's Will Ragatz on tonight. So almost a meltdown last night. And now I look to it and I say, well, the Bears, that's one of those games that you should win, but we don't know with this Vikings team. How do you see... You got a long break here, long time. Next Monday night, how do you see the Bears-Vikings?
Yes, the Bears haven't been very good this year. But as we know, it seems like Soldier Field is always kind of a tough place for the Vikings to play, and they've had some unfortunate results there in the past. So a long time to prepare. They're getting the weekend off, and it's kind of like a mini bye week here after you play Thursday. And then you don't play again until Monday. It's about as long of a break as you can have without having a bye week. So they got a lot to work on next week. Zimmer said today he wants to see him get more disciplined and just keep really focusing on the details of certain things, technique, and things like that, and just learn how to close these games out. So on paper, there's no reason why the Vikings, after 11 days of preparation, shouldn't be able to go to Soldier Field and beat a Bears team that just isn't as talented as them right now, and then has a lot of coaching questions of their own. But yeah, it's the Vikings. It'll come down to the final play. I mean, we already know they're I think they're at 12 one-score games this season. The all-time record is 14. They got 4 left. I mean, I kind of expect them to just get to 16 at this point. Just I don't know.
You might as well. Make every game interesting. By the way, the Bears did this last year. Remember, Will, we're talking about the Vikings if they sneak in. The Bears were getting ready to fire Matt Nagy. They were getting ready to. That was all the reporting. They were struggling. They sneak into the playoffs, and then they bring him back. And so that's why I kind of asked that. Very similar. And now Matt Nagy and the Bears, of course, in a bad way right now. How about Dalvin Cook last night? Shoulder injury, but he played maybe his best game of the year. Was that it?
Yeah, I mean, that was just an incredible performance. We didn't think he was going to play up until reports came out Thursday morning that he was pushing really hard to play. This was 11 days after he was carted off the field in San Francisco with what looked like a really serious injury. And it turned out to be a shoulder that he was able to kind of play through. He had a harness on. But, yeah, I mean, 205 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, had a big catch late in the game. But a lot of credit to the offensive line as well, the tight ends, the receivers. I mean, some of those holes he was running through in the first half, I think I could have got 3 or 4 yards, not 30 like Cook, but there were some big holes out there. So it was an impressive performance all around by the offense. Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson didn't seem to quite be on the same page yesterday, which was a little bit odd to see given how successful they've been, Jefferson specifically. So,
they were close, right? It felt like they were close.
They were close a bunch of times, couldn't quite hit some of those big plays. But, yeah, it was nice for the Vikings to be able to lean on Cook, and he had a huge day.
Last one for Will Ragatz. He was at the game covering it for SI.com, Vikings writer. Find him on Twitter at Will Ragatz. How bad was the Chase Claypool mistake? Celebrating, clock ticking away. I think he wasted one entire play.
Yeah, at least one, right? I mean, maybe 2, because he catches that ball with, I think, 38 seconds left, and they don't snap it again. They spiked it with 24. Like, if he hustles over, that's maybe 8-10 seconds that they lost, which easily could have been 1, if not 2 more plays at the end. So the Vikings caught a break there with just a big mental error by him. And he also had a dumb penalty earlier in the game. I've seen a lot of Steelers fans on Twitter not too pleased with him. But one thing I will say is Eric Kendricks, with a little bit of a veteran move on that play, he's kind of, as a Steelers offensive lineman was trying to get the ball from Claypool, Kendricks kind of stuck his hand in there and it squirted off to the side, which cost him a few seconds. And could have been a delay of game penalty, but no, refs didn't see it, so it worked out.
The Vikings hang on, and they were still one dropped pass, basically. I mean, it was in his hands. It was knocked out, but it was in his hands into the end zone.
Made the play to punch it out, yeah.
Yeah, they were one play away there from potentially a 2-point conversion going to OT. It was almost a disaster, and maybe the biggest comeback in regular season history, according to Will Ragatz. You're on that. I was wondering, man. It was a huge lead. Will, good stuff tonight. Thanks for joining us. Have a good weekend. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for having me.
All right, Will Ragatz tonight. Good to talk Vikings with him, one of the best writers there. SI.com, Sports Illustrated, Vikings beat writer, live from Minneapolis. Find him on Twitter at Will Ragatz. Question of the day, really quick. Let's update it. All right, Vikings fans, we're up and down and all around. I've never seen anything like it, except for my Broncos. Very similar. I'm going to tell you, I mean, it's not just the Vikings emotionally that are up and down. I mean, the Broncos, they're just like this too. Beat the Cowboys, get beat at home by the Raiders, okay? I mean, it is just up and down, up and down. And that's a sign of what? Not a consistent, good team. And that's the thing is the Vikings have had bigger swings, though. The Vikings' swings have been big because they can put up some points, but then they can just open the floodgates on defense. I mean, it's Swiss cheese. There is holes everywhere in that defense all of a sudden, and they're one of the bottom tier defenses. So that provides the big swings here. Would you bring Mike Zimmer back if the Vikings get to the playoffs? Isn't that the ultimate goal? Getting to the playoffs, and then anything can happen, right? So would you bring him back? That's all. I bring that up today. They're a Bears win away from being right in that mix again, being in the playoff seeding. They win against the Bears. They're going to be in that mix, 7-7. They're going to be in that mix. So would you bring Mike Zimmer back? There's some people voting here. 720-1067. 71% saying no, it's not good enough. Even getting to the playoffs for Mike Zimmer. He's out. 71% say no, that's not good enough. Oh, boy. 29%. Yes, that's all you can ask. Listener text, if the Vikings would have lost, they would have fired Zimmer last night on the on the field. Potentially. Something or close. Maybe in the locker room, but close. I think that would have been the biggest regular season comeback in NFL history. I didn't know that. I was wondering. I mean, I thought it was going to be up there. It was 29-0 late in the third. Listener text, Zimmer, no way. Just because someone did the Heimlich maneuver on that choke job doesn't give me a lot of confidence. 29-0, you almost lose? Inexcusable. The Vikings fans are, they're still waiting on Mike. Yeah, win's a win, but it's not doing much to move the needle with Mike Zimmer. But then what if you beat the Bears? Back-to-back wins, 7-7? What are you going to say? Well, still 71% of you saying you don't want Mike back, even if you make the playoffs. All right, Matt Peralt's in next. Let's make some NFL picks, okay? Tin Lizzy, BetMGM. I've been there a lot. Making some money on the NFL. I've lost a little. I've made some. Matt Peralt, NFL handicapper, live from Vegas. He's with props.com. We'll make some NFL picks for Sunday next.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show, streaming live at FoxSportsRapidCity.com and right here on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM Fox Sports Rapid City.
At Ace Steel and Recycling in Rapid City, our goal is to make recycling your materials so quick, so easy, and so profitable that you'll become a lifetime recycler. At Ace Steel and Recycling, we buy, process, and ship scrap iron, automobiles, stainless steel, and aluminum, including cans and cast. We also buy insulated wiring, as well as copper, brass, lead, batteries, zinc, and tungsten carbide. Visit acesteelusa.com or give us a call at 342-8649. Ace Steel and Recycling, 2830 Eglin Street, Rapid City.
If you're in the market for a vehicle right now, you probably have noticed it's sometimes hard to find the right one. That's where Summit Automotive Group steps in. Stacy and Matt and their staff working hard to get a great selection of pre-owned vehicles at affordable prices. At Summit Automotive, they have a different outlook on selling you a vehicle. You'll experience stress-free shopping, friendly, honest service with no high-pressure sales gimmicks. Before you buy, drop by East Highway 44, SummitAutoGRP.com.
Taco John's just made family fights over what to eat no longer a thing. No, really. Behold, the new family pack in a pound. 4 savory soft-shell beef tacos, 2 huge beef meat and potato burritos, and a pound of crispy potato olays for only $16. And just like that, everyone's satisfied. And all it took was an easy trip through the drive-thru. The new family pack in a pound. Taco John's. Bigger, bolder, better. Download our app for exclusive deals.
Someone will come in, they'll have a noise under the hood, and we'll go out and take a look at it. We can determine by the type of noise, and usually if we can determine where it's coming from, we can direct them to the piece that has failed. My name is Dick Lemke. Working at Sturtevant's as long as I have, it's definitely become my career. When you need someone to help solve the problem, start with a Sturtevant store near you.
STURDEVANTS, come and see Sturtevant's. Has it Sturtevant's? Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Welcome back in the Nate Brown Show. Busy on a Friday. Thanks for checking in. I appreciate it. If you miss parts of the show live, remember, you can't catch all of the show live. I understand. We have the podcast out there. Some good hits, some great interviews this week. A lot of great guests across the country and right here in South Dakota. Good stuff. The Nate Brown Show podcast, always available where you download your podcast. We're out there, the Nate Brown Show podcast, on all those platforms. And right there at foxsportsrapidcity.com as well. You can visit the site, get the archive shows there, foxsportsrapidcity.com. Friday on the Nate Brown Show, inviting in Matt Peralt. Oh, he picked some games, so I thought, let's get him, man. He's been great. He's been great. And he's got a new venture here, okay? Debuting Monday, props.com. Look at this show. He's a Boston guy. The Bostonian versus the Book. I don't know about you. I'm rooting for the Boston guy. I'm rooting for him. Sports Talk Matt on Twitter. Find him there on Twitter at Sports Talk Matt. Let's talk NFL and get some picks. Matt, thanks for the time. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for that. Yeah, I am the Bostonian portion of the show. I got named Dave Sharapan. It's the Book. He works for Sports Books for 25 years, so it's gonna be a fun 1 hour show, 1 to 2 Eastern time. So that's 12 to 1. You guys in South Dakota. So right, are you guys mountain or are you guys?
We're mountain.
You're mountain time.
Yeah.
Okay, so it'll be 11 a.m. every day off props.com YouTube channel and my Twitter and everything else. So yeah, really excited about it, and it's been a show that we have thought of. 2 years ago, we started talking about doing this show, so it's been a long road to get to Monday, so we're pretty excited.
Well, I like that, man. And so I'll ask you about it. The Bostonian versus the Book, debuting Monday, props.com. We have, we just launched sports betting here this year in South Dakota in Deadwood, and we have some great experiences up there. We've been going to the sports books. It's been a lot of fun. So there's people getting an interest in this. So when we go and watch a show like that, what are we going to be discussing? What you guys, it's an hour show, and I assume you're going to be breaking down games and lines and the whole thing.
Yeah, I think one of the things that Dave and I want to do is that we want to do a show that's very similar to any of the talk shows, except we use sports gambling information to help drive the topics. But we also want to talk about just life and things that's what's going on, and use just, where we were in the games and the bad beats. I think we all have had experiences with our buddies and going to books and going to sports bars or whatever, and just, kind of just talking about where we are and what we're doing, for that day. And, I will give Dave my plays. Dave will say whether he likes them or not. We'll keep track of it, and we'll see who winds up every week. We'll see who winds up with a better record of, either fading or following my picks. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a growth process for a lot of us. I mean, I'm a 20-year radio guy, and I left radio to go do this. So I really don't know what the next couple of months are going to look like, but I'm really excited to see what the show turns into.
Good stuff. Congrats on it. Matt Peralt joining us. He talks NFL now and college football and the whole thing, but I want to go NFL. Props.com, his new place, starting on Monday. Let's go NFL. I want to get your read on this. NFC East, Cowboys, Washington football team. Washington football team's been rolling a little bit. They've won a lot of games in a row. Cowboys are 4.5-point favorites. What do you like there?
See, I'm really annoyed because the Cowboys, everyone's going to bet the Cowboys here, right? But if Logan Thomas didn't get hurt, I really would like Washington a lot in this game. And I'm a big Taylor Heineke fan. I really like what that offense looks like with him running it. He should be their long-term solution at quarterback. They've been able to overcome a couple of really big injuries like the Chase Young injury, but this injury to a weapon in the red zone where they've been not great this year is really, I think, could be catastrophic against the Cowboys. It feels like a game where the Cowboys score 7 and the Washington football team kick field goals. And so I think the number 4.5 is right. I'm not going to bet it, but if I had a lean on it, I would lay the 4.5 with the Cowboys. I just don't think Washington's offense can keep up.
Okay, this game's interesting to me, and I wonder what I'm missing on the line. Browns, Ravens. Okay, I know the Ravens last couple weeks underwhelming last couple of weeks. So all of a sudden they're 2.5-point underdogs to Cleveland. What am I missing?
I think what you're missing is the fact that this Ravens defense is maybe the worst that Harbaugh's ever had. I mean, they're bad, and they're really hurt. They have so many injuries, and I think the thought is the Browns are just going to line up and run the football and Lamar Jackson, when he gets behind, he starts throwing, and he starts throwing interceptions. I like the Browns here. I really don't like what I've been seeing out of the Ravens. Lamar Jackson's been very sloppy with the football this year and turned the ball over just way too many times. And I think against these short fields for this Brown, I don't love Baker Mayfield, okay? But I think if you turn around and hand the ball off to these running backs with that offensive line, they should win the game by 3.
Okay, 2.5. You go Browns, 2.5 with the points. Matt Peralt's on, handicapper, VegasProps.com here on the Nate Brown Show. How about Las Vegas right there? So Raiders, Chiefs. A lot of people early on would probably say, oh, the Raiders are going to be in this thing. Chiefs have turned it up a little bit. They weren't great against my Broncos, I will say that. Kansas City's 10-point favorites, double-digit favorite in the NFL, Matt. Where do you go?
Look, this game, double-digit favorites in the NFL, betting them has been very profitable this year. It's weird because you think the public, it's a lot of pros versus the books. The pros don't, I mean, the public doesn't want to lay 10 points. They go, oh, man, that's a lot of points. Well, the pros don't really care. The pros look at the numbers, and the numbers tell you that teams that are favored by 10 points or more this year have been cashing at a pretty good rate, like 65-70% so far. Chiefs have covered the last 3 games. I was on the Chiefs last game against Denver, laying the 8.5. I'm going to lay the 10 here with the Chiefs. I would have rather had the 9.5 or the 9, but 10 is probably my ceiling is where I will go. I won't go 10.5. But I will lay the 10 here. You know, the Raiders have been really bad against the spread. They've only covered 1 time in their last 5 games. They've been struggling mightily, only 1 win in their last 5 games. And this KC Chiefs team, when they came here to Vegas as 2.5-point dogs, won the game by 27 points. I don't think the Chiefs are as good as people think. People think, oh, here they go. It's their defense that's the difference. And there's so many injuries on the offensive side of the football for the Raiders. They just don't have an offense with the weapons they thought they were going to have, and that's a big problem. Jacobs has been in and out of the lineup with injuries. Drake's not a great running back; he's more of a third down back. I don't think the Raiders can score, and they were in this place last year going into Arrowhead. They were monster dogs, and then Henry Ruggs popped a 75-yard touchdown reception, and the whole game changed. Well, Ruggs is now on trial for his freedom, and this team's in big trouble. So I have an over bet on the Raiders to win more than 6.5 games, and they have 6 right now. And I am petrified because I don't know where I can't find one more win on this schedule right now for the Las Vegas Raiders. So I think they're in big trouble here against the Chiefs. I'd lay the 10 points.
Okay. By the way, I'll give you a recommendation. My Broncos come to Las Vegas. That might be the one. That might get you to the over.
Okay,
that might get you to the over. Let me ask you. 3 more games. Speaking of the Broncos, so I'll go there. The Broncos are now 10-point favorites against the Lions. Are the Lions going to have a hangover here? First win, emotional over the Vikings. They've been sick. I saw 20 guys, flu bug going around. Broncos at home, do they rough up the Lions?
They might, but the Lions are 8-4 against the number, and they're 4-2 on the road against the number. The Lions have covered their last 4 games. I mean, they're playing really hard, and that one win, sometimes when you get one and you break the ice, things start to kind of fall your way, and you start to play with more confidence. You start feeling better about yourself. I don't like Jared Goff either, but why are the Broncos laying 10 points to anybody right now? This is like the old, when Teddy Bridgewater is a dog, you bet him and you fade him when he's a favorite. He's a 10-point favorite against this Lions team that plays tight football games. I'm not touching this game, but if I was, I'd take the points. Give me the Lions.
I'm not touching it either, by the way, because I can't figure out the Broncos at all. Primetime game is the one I'm really interested in. Bills, Buccaneers. Bucks, 3.5-point favorites. Buffalo's been really good after a loss. Josh Allen's been good after a loss. Buffalo couldn't get by New England, your team. Where are you going here?
So I already bet this. I bet Tampa early. I took the 3. I knew it would go to 3.5, and I didn't want to have to buy it back down. I know there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be on the Buffalo Bills here, but this is a team right now that offensively, they're in trouble. And I know you could say, all right, they're going to throw the football here all day long on this Tampa defense. It's not that great. I understand that. I don't like the Bills' defense. The fact that they lost White in their secondary, I think Brady's going to go to work. Brady has carved up this team in his career. He knows everything that Sean McDermott's going to throw at him. He's not going to be intimidated. Yeah, maybe the pass rush gets to him just a little bit, but I think they turn around and hand the ball off to Leonard Fournette, and I think he runs the football. I like the over in this game. I think points are going to be scored. It's up to 54. I still think this game's going to be a high-scoring affair. It's going to be a fun game to watch. But at the end of the day, I'm taking Brady with potentially a last-second, late-game drive to go and win the football game, and I'll lay the 3 points with Tampa.
Wow, and that would put the Bills to 7-6. 7-6 if the Bills don't get that done.
And I will say this: I had the Patriots money line for I had gone to New Jersey, so I had all these different free bets they gave me in Jersey. So I put everything on the Patriots money line. So when the Patriots won and covered, it was a monster night for me. I think the Bills, if the weather is okay in Foxborough, the Bills will beat the Patriots in Foxborough. That's my prediction. Everyone was saying Bills win at home, Patriots win at home. I should actually flip that. The weather in Buffalo means the Patriots win in Buffalo. If the weather is nice, now if it's bad in New England, I'll change that. But if the weather is nice, 45 degrees and sunny, I think Buffalo wins the game in Foxborough.
Okay, Matt, what's your best bet of the week? Did I hit it at all? What's your biggest bet of the week?
Right now, it's Buffalo to lose to Tampa by 3. My favorite bet is in prime time. Everyone goes Tom Brady in primetime numbers. I don't care about any of that. I think Josh Allen will throw picks. I think Brady puts up numbers. Again, I like the over in Tampa -3.
Matt Perrault, live from Vegas. His new show is on Monday, 11 a.m. Mountain. I'm going to check this out. Props.com. Props.com. The Bostonian versus the book. And follow him on Twitter. You can pick it up there at Sports Talk Matt. Good stuff, man. Best of luck to you. We'll stay in touch. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, guys. Happy holidays.
I appreciate it. Same to you. Matt Perrault, live from Vegas, Props.com, breaking down the NFL and the new show coming out on Monday. We've had Matt on before and wanted to get him today. Just got a new venture. He's been in radio 20 years, and now he's going to do the gambling show Strictly starting Monday, Props.com. Live from Vegas, talking NFL. Matt Perrault, handicapper, picking some games, and he doesn't like those points with the Broncos. Neither do I. Newsflash, I mean, like he said, Broncos are 10-point favorites? Well, it's the Lions. Yeah, I know. Again, I can't figure out the Broncos. Up and down. I mean, so much. I don't know. The Broncos are going to win that. They have to. I think the defense will handle the Lions. I think that'll be the case there. I just don't know about Teddy and Teddy Two Gloves, and if he's going to turn it up, if he's going to be below average or all of a sudden good. I don't know anymore with the Broncos. Interesting stuff. He's going to go Tampa Bay over the Bills. Tampa Bay over the Bills, his biggest bet of the week. Into the Drive at 5 on a Friday. We got a lot to cover here. One thing, brand new thing. I'm doing it tonight. I'm going to debut it tonight. You're in luck. The high school basketball season starts tonight on Fox Sports Rapid City. We start our coverage. We got 40 games this season, boys, girls. And something I wanted to do as I looked and I covered these teams, I said, I want to do something new here. We're going to pick the Rapid City starting 5 to kind of give you an edge on when you go and watch some high school games this year. Here are the players to watch. So I looked at it. I looked at the players we have. We got some good hoopers. So the Nate Brown Show, Rapid City starting 5, my top 5 players in boys and girls basketball. Live next.
Your sports, your show. This is the Nate Brown Show on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
We're all going somewhere. Going higher, faster, farther. Going in new directions, to new places. At Monument Health, we keep going so you can keep going. We're dedicated to advanced orthopedic care with the latest innovations, technology, expertise, and treatment. So keep exploring, keep making memories, keep going with Monument Health as your partner. Learn more at monument.health/orthopedics.
Another season of high school basketball action tips off this weekend on Fox Sports Rapid City. Friday night, it's a rematch of last year's Sodac 16 playoff game as the Rapid City Central Cobblers host the Aberdeen Central Golden Eagles. Then on Saturday, the Rapid City Stevens Raiders battle Aberdeen Central. Join Dean Gurr and me, Jerome Wickersham, with the pregame shows Friday at 6:45 and Saturday at 1:15. Catch Cobbler and Raider basketball this weekend on Fox Sports Rapid City and online at foxsportsrapidcity.com.
Get away from it all in the great outdoors for lasting family memories with a new or pre-owned RV from Dakota Discount RV. We make your RV experience fun and easy by providing you with a quality recreational vehicle, competitive pricing, and professional sales and service. Our large inventory of fifth-wheelers, travel trailers, toy haulers, and live-in horse trailers allows us to save our customers thousands of dollars compared to most dealers. Stop by and see us at Dakota Discount RV, 3330 East Mall Drive across from Cabela's and on JB Road, Blackhawk.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City. This is the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
Black Hills Community Bank wants you to know that now may be the best time to refinance, purchase, or even build a brand new home. With rates this low, Black Hills Community Bank is well positioned to be your local partner. They are your home loans bank with local originators, underwriting, processing, and closings. They challenge themselves to close every loan on time. This may be the time to think about home ownership or refinancing with Black Hills Community Bank in Rapid City and Spearfish. Online at bhcbank.com. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Ever since Barron's Wilson Funeral Home first opened their doors in Rapid City 140 years ago, they have continued to make personal service their #1 priority. In your time of grief, they offer a personal touch by being at your side through every step of the funeral process. They answer difficult questions and guide you toward other professional services you may need. See for yourself the wide variety of services they can provide for you by visiting their website at barronswilson.com.
If you have a Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, BMW, Volvo, or any other high-end import, you might think you have to take your car to Denver or further for service. Hi, this is Martin from Al's D&I Repair. Don't plan your life around taking your car for service in a town 400 miles away. Bring it to Al's D&I Repair. Our technicians are trained to work on those complicated cars, and we also have the tools and equipment so they have everything they need to make sure your car is working perfectly.
Call Al's D&I to set up your appointment at 348-1447.
Hi, this is Dan Patrick. Remember to catch me weekday mornings from 7 until 10 a.m. right here on 106.7 FM and 1150 a.m. Fox Sports Rapid City. And now, back to Rapid City's sports talk show, The Nate Brown.
Welcome back on a Friday. How you doing? You're out the door, right? You're into the weekend, right? You're into the weekend. All right, the Drive at 5 getting you there on a Friday. A little snowy early on. Be careful out there. Be careful. Hope you enjoy the weekend. I'm excited about it. I'm excited. Some interesting games coming along here. Listener text coming into the Broncos, 720-1067. I want to catch this here. Yes, the Broncos are going to crush the Lions, listener text. The Lions are down to their third-string running back, and their tight end is probably going to be out. The receivers are rookies. Well, hey, I'm not worried about the Broncos' defense. That's what I'm saying. I'm not worried about the Broncos' defense. I'm worried about the offense. I'm worried about Pat Shurmur. Okay? I'm worried about Teddy. That's who I'm worried about that. I just can't trust the Broncos to turn it up and crank it. So 10 points in a spread. I don't want to donate money this weekend too much. So we'll see. We'll see. Hey, I want to do this. I've been wanting to do this on the Nate Brown Show. We'll do it here in the Drive at 5, brought to you by Summit Automotive Group. For the next pre-owned vehicle you're looking for yourself, your kids, whatever it may be, the selection is at Summit, okay? Car buying truly built around you with the right financing and the right vehicle. None of the high-pressure stuff. None of the high-pressure stuff from Stacy and Matt. Really good. SummitAutoGRP.com. They just want you to get you the right car, the right financing, and make you want to come back and send your friends and family back. SummitAutoGRP.com, the car buying experience that's different with Summit. So I want to do this. The basketball season in earnest starts tonight, okay? There's been some games already. But we really get cranking tonight. And our first broadcast, Jerome Wickersham, Dean Gurr, the broadcast team on Fox Sports Rapid City. They're going to bring you Rapid City Central against Aberdeen Central tonight on the boys' side. And then tomorrow we've got our second broadcast of the season, Stevens boys against Aberdeen Central. So there's our two games. I'm excited about that. And I had a great time getting back in the play-by-play booth last year. the circumstances here. I said, hey, I'm going to do the show. I'm going to do the game, so we're going to do the whole thing. I had a great time. I used to do play-by-play a long, long time. Got back into the high school booth, saw a lot of great players. We had a lot of good players. It was a nice season. Stevens girls go to the state championship. The St. Thomas More boys win the consolation championship. So there's been some good play. And I looked at these players that are coming back, and I said, I think we're going to have a good run again. I think we've got some nice players in Rapid City, and I think there's some potential with some guys maybe you don't know about. So I said, here on the Nate Brown Show, let's do this. Our preseason Rapid City starting 5. Just Rapid City. Sorry, I didn't go out to Douglas and didn't head up the road to Sturgis or Spearfish. I just went Rapid City. So we're talking Rapid City Christian, St. Thomas More, Stevens Central. Okay? Rapid City starting 5, the Nate Brown Show, and it was tough. I went through the players. It was tough. I said, we got some good ones. These are the starting 5. I'm not going to go by position, so I've got guards mixed with forwards and the whole thing. I'll start girls basketball in my Rapid City starting 5. These are the players to watch, and I think the 5 best players right now will start at Rapid City Central. Post player, 6'2". She's good. She's worked in a little mid-range jumper. I think she's gotten stronger. Josie Hill, Rapid City Central, I think will be one of their leaders. Watch her. She's in action on the road tonight. Josie Hill in my starting 5, a post player that's worked on her perimeter game a little bit. I think she'll lead the way for the Cobblers. Let's go to St. Thomas More, second player in my starting 5 girls basketball. St. Thomas More, 6 feet junior. She's a 6-footer. She can rebound. She can score down low. She can score from the outside, too. She's worked on that. Reese Ross. I'll take Reese Ross at St. Thomas More any day. Second girls player in my starting 5. I'm going to stay at the small schools. Let's go to Rapid City Christian. Do you know they've got a player? Olivia Kiefer. Olivia Kiefer. Good basketball family. Great basketball player. Just a junior. So we got a couple of years here. You see Rapid City Christian play, you're going to see a lot of her. Olivia Kiefer, one of the top-tier talents last year, and she'll be really good, I expect, this year. I'll go Olivia Kiefer in my starting 5 girls basketball, and final 2 players are on the same team. So I picked one from Christian, one from Central, one from St. Thomas More, and I think these 2, when they get back together, because one player's injured, but when they get back together, it's going to be one of the best tandems you'll see in the state. Girls basketball. My starting 5, I'll wrap it up with Rapid City Stevens guard, senior Jada McNabb. I'm a big fan of her play. Just high energy, great teamwork. Great vision, great ball handler. She can do a lot of things. All the stuff you need in basketball, she does. Jada McNabb, Stevens guard. And last starting 5, girls basketball, the post player, Bailey Sobczak. I'll go Sobczak. She's a little injured right now. Look forward to her getting back on the floor. Bailey Sobczak, 6 feet tall, and again, can shoot the 3, very strong, can rebound with the best of them. McNabb, Sobczak, when they're back full strength at Stevens, that'll be a dynamic duo. There's my girls starting 5. Kiefer, Rapid City Christian. Hill, Rapid City Central. Reese Ross, St. Thomas More. McNabb and Sobczak at Stevens. The boys starting 5. This is interesting. I had to kind of figure out how am I gonna do this, because Rapid City Central, I don't have anybody in my Rapid City starting 5 tonight from Central. They've got one player that contributed quite a bit at the varsity level last year back, and that's it. This Central team, you're going to hear them tonight. Maybe you're going to go to the game tonight over at Central. They play Aberdeen Central. We'll have it at 7 o'clock. They just don't have a lot of experience. So I didn't get a Cobbler in the starting 5. I did go St. Thomas More to start. Caleb Hollenbeck, a junior guard. I believe he's one of the best players in Class A when it's all said and done, I think. I think he's going to be a player to watch throughout the state. Hollenbeck does a lot of things well. Pretty long, seems like he's longer than he is. Shoots the 3, handles the ball, does all the stuff that his dad needs him to do. Dave Hollenbeck, coach's son. Caleb Hollenbeck in my starting 5, Rapid City. I'll go another St. Thomas More guard and another coach's son. By the way, on the girls' coach's son, Cade Candlin. Great defender, and they'll look to get him going from 3 a little bit. They'll look to get him going, and he can dial it up. Little streaky, but I'll go Hollenbeck, Cade Candlin, St. Thomas More, and my boys starting 5. And then I've got 3 players all on the same team in the Nate Brown Show starting 5 in Rapid City, starting with Stevens senior Jaden Hafes. He was their leading three-point shooter last year, shot a high percentage from downtown. He might even be more of a scorer this year. Jaden Hafes, Stevens guard. Then I'll go to the 6'6 senior Charles Christensen. Put in a lot of time in the offseason. Has length, getting a little stronger. I think he'll surprise some people with how much of a contributor he's going to be in a lot of ways. Charles Christensen, 6'6 forward for Stevens in my starting 5. And last but not least, this new kid that we're getting ready to watch. I've seen him on a lot of film. Watching him on a lot of film, and now we'll see him up close and personal tonight and tomorrow as Stevens plays at home. Nate Kindred, brand new player, moved in from Oregon. He's the number 26 rated player in the state of Oregon. Rated him number 26. He's a 6'4 guard / forward. Can score from the 3. Down low, runs the floor. Nate Kindred, remember the name? He's in my Rapid City starting 5. Brand new player coming to Stevens out of Oregon. The Nate Brown Show starting 5 in the books. Preseason starting 5. Some great players, 10 great players we'll get to see this season in Rapid City. Let's talk high school hoops. I want to know something here. There's been a few blowouts throughout the country that are getting people's attention in basketball already. 106-9, 98-6. Okay, these are real scores. Would you ever think of changing how we do the second half of a basketball game? I asked this question. There's a lot of reaction to it. We'll talk to Craig Maddock about it. When it comes to blowout basketball games, should we do something different? Craig Maddock on next, live from Sioux Falls.
You're listening to The Nate Brown Show. Remember to follow us on Twitter at Nate Brown Show and like us on Facebook by searching Fox Sports Rapid City.
Make a great investment this Black Friday. Renewal by Anderson's awesome Black Friday event is backed by popular demand. Don't wait another day. This is incredible. 20% off every window plus a Visa gift card up to $1,500. No money down, no interest, no payments for 18 months. You don't pay a dime until 2023. Make a fantastic investment. Act fast. This incredible offer runs from Black Friday, November 26th through December 10th only. But don't wait. Book your free estimate right now at RBARapidCity.com. Renewal by Anderson's Black Friday sale is back.
At Terrell Tires in the Speed Center, we let our customers do the talking.
Very well-maintained tire and speed shop, over-the-top service, and very reasonably priced. Need I say more?
Scott and crew at Terrell Tires have always gone over and beyond for us. Great prices for great tires. Also, anytime we've needed odd-sized tires for ranch equipment, Scott gets us what we need.
Great customer service. Spent plenty of time answering all of our questions, and the truck looks awesome with the new rims.
Terrell Tires in the Speed Center, 105 North Campbell Street, Rapid City.
Find your tag. Find your deal at Denny Menholt Rapid Chevrolet during our Red Tag sales event. Save a total of $2,500 with $500 Red Tag bonus cash, $1,000 customer cash, and $1,000 Menholt discount. We are paying top dollar for your trade, and all credit applications are accepted. We will see you soon at Denny Menholt Rapid Chevrolet, where our top-rated sales team will help you shop from the best selection of Chevy Silverados.
There's nothing like a little extra cash during the holiday season, and First Gold Gaming Resort is the place to win it. On Saturday, December 4th, and again on the 11th, win $1,000 cash every hour from 6 p.m. till midnight. Then, our $12,000 Golden Cash Blast moves to Saturday night, December 18th. 13 different players will win $600 in cash every half hour from 5 till 11 p.m. with a grand prize drawing for $4,200 in cash at 11:30. Merry Christmas from First Gold Gaming Resort, where your first stop on Main Street as you're coming into Deadwood.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Welcome back in. Hope you've had a great week, a great Friday. I really appreciate you being a part of the program when you were able to check in with us live. The Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Rapid City. Putting in some work tonight. I got a Christmas party tonight. I mean, I got to do the show, and then I got to run to this Christmas party tonight. It's a tough night. It's just tough. You know, you got Christmas parties to go to, and then I got to hear people talk to me about the Broncos. You know, hey, what do you think of the Broncos? Stink. No, let's talk about the Vikings. Okay, that's where we go to Craig Maddock. All right, that's where we go to Craig Maddock. Sioux Falls, South Dakota Public Broadcasting. He has the podcast In Play, and of course, he does the play-by-play for the state championships on SDPB. Craig Maddock was at the Vikings game last night. He is a Vikings season ticket holder. You heard it here first. Craig Maddock goes to the Vikings game last night. Craig, it was almost the biggest meltdown in regular season history. Literally, it was 28-0 was the 28 was the margin prior. They were up 29-0, and it was almost the biggest meltdown. How many years did it take off your life, Craig?
The first half, the Vikings could have beaten any team in the NFL.
Yeah.
The second half, Rapid City Central probably would have beaten the Vikings the way they played. And after the game last night, the players even said, "Yeah, we kind of let up off the gas. You know, we got to learn to finish. We got to, put our they called it putting their foot on their throat. It was a fun game. It really was. But
fun.
The crowd was actually bored in the third quarter, and then the Steelers came back, and then there were a ton of Steeler fans there last night. I have not seen any other team represented more by any other team than the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I heard that.
An amazing crowd last night.
Okay, I heard that. Matthew Collar was on. He was at the game. He said, "Man, there's a ton of Steelers fans here," and they almost stormed back. So you call it fun. So I'm going to ask you, Craig. You're just a positive guy. If the Vikings somehow beat the Bears, which they can, next Monday night. They're 7-7.
They should.
Yeah, I believe that. Then they're right in the playoff picture again. If they get to the playoffs, answer my question of the day, Craig, as a Vikings fan, is that enough to bring Mike Zimmer back? Playoff appearance?
Probably.
Probably.
The players like playing for Mike Zimmer. He hasn't lost the locker room. Now he may not be able to figure out how to run offensive plays. He may not be able to figure out time management. He may not be able to figure everything else out in the game. But the players love playing for him, and if they make playoffs, I do believe he will be back.
Wow, that's a big statement. 72% of my audience, Greg, on Twitter says no, that's not enough. That is not enough. Vikings fans starting to get a little restless there. Do you feel that? Do you feel that?
Do I feel restless?
Yeah.
It's one of those where how many games now have been determined by the last play of the game? Has it been like 5?
Oh, a ton.
I mean, they've won 4 of them and they've lost 3 of them. That's like 7 games have been determined on the last play of the game.
Yeah,
year.
It's wild. It is wild. So you are restless, no?
I don't think they'll make the playoffs.
Oh, you don't?
You don't? No, I don't. They'll lose to the Packers. It wouldn't surprise me they lose to the Bears, and I think the Rams will be a tough out too. So
I do know that.
I don't think they'll make it.
All right. Well, we'll see. That's what's fun about it. 4 games left. So let's shift to high school here. We start our coverage on Fox Sports Rapid City tonight, Craig, with high school basketball. And here's a general question. I'm seeing 2 games already getting national headlines of blowout games. One was in Wisconsin, one was in Arizona. We're talking 100 to single digits. 100 to single digits. And so I asked this question because we've changed football, and I just want to know the answer, what people think. In basketball, if you get up by 50 in the second half, should that be it? Game over? What say you?
I would go running clock. That's what I would do. And we have that for some. I would go the running clock, but that sport. Here's the deal: you can't prevent kids from not playing the game, and if your third teamers or second teamers are just as good as your first teamers, I mean, what do? You tell them don't shoot the ball, just pass the ball. That's not playing the game. I would just do a running clock.
Okay, so you're the running clock guy. I am too. I don't want to end games. Basketball games are pretty short as they are, and let's say we go out to Sioux Falls as we do, and we're going to get a game cut short potentially in the second half. I don't like that. But it is controversy now to where when you win 100-6, how do you stop that? I mean, because one team's upset.
Right.
One athletic director.
That has happened in South Dakota. If I remember,
kind of close to that.
Iroquois?
Close to that.
Was it the Iroquois girls got beat like 100-2 once, and there was outrage with that. But when you look at Iroquois, they didn't had probably 4 7th graders and an 8th grader on their varsity roster. I mean, it was just one of those weird scenarios. It doesn't happen very often, but when it does, people don't like that. They really don't. That is not sportsmanship.
I don't know how you solve it, though. As I said, one team that won the other day by that margin, they said, well, we didn't press. We didn't press or anything. I mean, so like you said, you can't tell players to stop shooting, right?
Right.
Some
That's
people
correct.
think you can. Some people say, oh, don't shoot. Just work on passing. Well, that's not basketball.
That is correct. You have to shoot. And my good old friend, the late, great Fred Tibbetts told me with the Roosevelt girls basketball team says, hey, if you don't like what you're seeing, get better, which always drew an ire from some folks.
Yeah, imagine that. By the way, I asked my audience, 63% say no, even if you're up by 50, you got to keep the game going. Don't call it. 63% say just play it out. 37% say you should end it. 37% say you should end it. I thought that was kind of a high number.
Yeah. I like it's still 60% though did say keep playing the game, right? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
I'm all for that. That's a pretty good majority.
Okay, now we're into high school basketball in South Dakota, Craig. So you guys do the state championships, which is coming up in March. I'm always excited about that. I'm going to look across to Sioux Falls there, and I'm being told in boys basketball and in girls basketball, the teams to beat are in Sioux Falls. They're right there in Sioux Falls.
Well, Washington girls certainly they're really good, and when you got one player there who's going to go play at Texas, just an amazing athlete. I'm waiting to see what happens with Rapid City Stevens with the transfer they got. A kid who's pretty good, and I would love to see Coach Stabner see what he can do with the Raiders and get them to the state tournament. That would be cool. But the Sioux Falls schools typically have had some pretty good basketball teams here the last couple of years. But you know what? We'll wait and see. I'll tell you, Washington is certainly at the cream of the crop. All the other ones still got to fight that one out.
Okay, I've heard Washington girls really good. I know that. I covered that state title game against the Stevens girls, by the way. By the way, not only keep your eye on the Stevens boys, Craig, keep your eye on the Stevens girls. The Stevens girls are good again. New coach taking over again, Adam Dannenbring. I'm being told Roosevelt and Washington boys are teams to watch.
Well, Coach Begeman's got a pretty good thing going now with Roosevelt. After winning the state title, so that is a program that's on the bill. The Gorman is always going to be there. Washington with new coach, and Brandon Valley, of course, has Washington's old coach. So that's kind of interesting on the boys' side.
Boys basketball, girls basketball really gets cranking tonight. Craig Maddock on South Dakota Public Broadcasting. One more hitter here. Alan Bertram, Rapid City Central girls coach and the director of the Sacred Hoops basketball club, told me this week the lack of coaching is an epidemic, he said. The lack of coaching, he said, in South Dakota. He said Roosevelt, they couldn't even find anybody to coach their sophomores. They're still trying to find somebody. He said, yeah, we couldn't find anybody. And then he said at the varsity level, he said, I hate to see what it's going to be like in 5 years. What say you?
There is a concern when it comes to coaching. I've seen a handful of coaches who had been in it for 10, 15 years. It's the grind. It's the summer grind that is expected of them. And you know what? They're not making a lot of money on this either. It is a year-round fight, and it's a lot different than it was when you didn't have all of the camps and stuff like that going on during the summer. So I would agree that it's tougher for the younger coaches to be able to be in this program for 2 decades. It's a lot of time commitment.
And then the question is, Craig, really, I mean, if and I talked about the official shortage, the refs. Now he said now we're there with coaches, and I buy that. I've been talking about it. Then what? When there are no coaches, when nobody wants to do it, then what?
Well, then your sub-varsity certainly is going to take a big hit. That's a great. I'm assuming that the lowest of the freshmen, the 7th and 8th grade, the middle school, that certainly could get hit the most.
Well,
which that's where the development comes. That's some of your biggest development is coming as a 7th and 8th grade, then as a freshman, before you get on the varsity. Because we see a lot of freshmen and sophomores, and even in the double A's, playing varsity.
Okay, so what you're telling me, I'm coaching 4th grade girls, so is it going to be a while until they call me? I mean, I've got a little while, right?
Well, I'm sure you're on the hot phone.
Okay.
By the way, this Christmas party you're at tonight, is it your company Christmas party or your wife?
No. We have a small group here, so we'll just do some high-level stuff in-house, okay? Well, that's a secret, high-level stuff in-house. This is my wife's Christmas party.
You'll probably get a lot of your employees will say, boy, have you lost weight, sir? You're sure looking good.
That's right.
You know how that goes after a couple of belts.
That is right. Wife's Christmas party, so here we go. It'll be
We'll have
fun.
a great time.
All right. Thanks, Craig. Good Vikings win last night, and you call it fun. You're the only guy I've heard say that. Okay? I appreciate
until
it.
next Monday night, then we'll see what happens.
All right. Good stuff. Craig Maddock on tonight. His podcast, In Play, South Dakota Public Broadcasting, does a great job. And, of course, the state championships on SDPB and the play-by-play man. All right. Here we go with Doug Ottewill. Sad story out of Broncos country last night. Sad story out of Broncos country. We'll talk some memories there of Demaryius Thomas, 33 years old, a great Bronco, an absolutely great Bronco. And what we're hearing is his death last night from seizures that he's been suffering for a while. Okay, that's some of the details there. What is the memory there of Demaryius Thomas in Broncos country? And we will hit Broncos-Lions as well. Doug Ottewill live from Denver Mile High Sports on the way.
The Nate Brown Show.
At Terrell Tires in the Speed Center, we let our customers do the talking.
Very well-maintained tire and speed shop, over-the-top service, and very reasonably priced. Need I say more?
Scott and crew at Terrell Tires have always gone over and beyond for us. Great prices for great tires. Also, anytime we've needed odd-sized tires for ranch equipment, Scott gets us what we need.
Great customer service. Spent plenty of time answering all of our questions, and the truck looks awesome with the new rims.
Terrell Tires in the Speed Center, 105 North Campbell Street, Rapid City.
Hey, renters in the Black Hills. I'm State Farm Agent Scott Carlson, and I'm ready to surprise you in a good way with surprisingly great rates on auto and renter's insurance. That's right. Me and my team can help you protect your car and your stuff for less than you might think. Get a quote and see how much you can save. You might be surprised. Call me, State Farm Agent Scott Carlson, for your surprisingly great auto and renter's rate today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
For nearly 100 years, Connex has been providing the know-how and materials to help their neighbors grow. Through partnerships with builders, homeowners, and contractors, Connect Home Centers have impacted our communities, making them stronger and safer through support of local organizations and neighborhood beautification projects. Improving the quality of life for others is important to us. We are Connect Home Center, your hometown lumberyard lending a helping hand in building our communities since 1928.
Have you suffered an injury, or maybe you're experiencing pain that just won't get better? There's an expert team of physicians right here in Rapid City ready to help you get back in the game. The Rehab Doctors. They're the official sports medicine physicians of the Rapid City Rush, and they're the team that wants to help you get back on track. You have a choice for your medical care, and there's no referral necessary. For pain relief without surgery, take the first step to feeling better. Just go to therehabdoctors.com.
Hi, this is David Brenneman with Coldwell Banker in Rapid City. If you considered selling your current home, let me take you to that next step with confidence. The Black Hills housing market is competitive, and I have been in the business of attracting buyers for 15 years. Let's make it happen. Contact me, David Brenneman, at 415-0044. List it, sell it, and move on. With me, David Brenneman, at 415-0044.
Broadcasting from the Anytime Auto Sales, Service, and Detail Studio. Sales, service, and side-by-sides. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Welcome back in South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Rolling on a Friday. It's been packed tonight, just packed. Some great guests, some good stuff across the board. Catch the podcast this weekend if you missed us live tonight. But thanks for listening right now. You're tuned in on Fox Sports Rapid City, 106.7 FM, 1150 AM. Also there on Twitter, you can watch the show live 4 to 6 at Nate Brown Show on Twitter, at Nate Brown Show. Doug Ottewill checking in. Talking Broncos, milehighsports.com, where you'll find Doug most of the time. Also on Twitter at D Ottewill. Doug Ottewill live from Denver. Doug, good to get you on. How are you?
I'm good, Nate. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. So I'm going to start. It's a tough go. I've talked to a lot of guys about it today. There's not a lot to say because, you can't, what do you say? It's just a sad story. 33 years old, Demaryius Thomas, passing away last night. Details coming out from his family to the Associated Press that suffering seizures. And they found him in the shower. And so I'll just say, Demaryius Thomas, from all I've heard, and you covered him, from all I've heard, really, really solid guy. Give me your reaction.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right. I mean, it's a sad day. And when I woke up, I think I was, very sad. Still am, obviously. But as the day has gone on and you hear all these stories, I mean, people are just pouring out of the woodwork, and they all have their own Demaryius Thomas story, and you realize just how much this guy touched people's lives. And at the end of the day, I mean, it really had very little to do with football. I mean, sure, everyone remembers the great plays and the Tebow to Demaryius and Super Bowl 50. And, I mean, his highlight reel is it's pretty close to Hall of Fame worthy, I would say. But that's not what people are talking about today. I mean, teammates and fans and, whether it was local TV or radio or columnists, I mean, everyone has their own story. And it wasn't like it's all the same. I mean, this guy was, connecting with people on different levels all the time. And so by the end of the day, I mean, I don't want to say I'm upbeat, but you really feel good about being able to have gotten to know a guy like Demaryius Thomas.
Well, I appreciate that. It was fun to watch. I didn't know him personally at all. Wasn't able to cover him, but really, really fun to watch. Seemed like he made a lot of good connections along the way. Just shocking stuff. 33 years old. He was going to turn 34 on Christmas Day, and the details we know about suffering seizures, and that could have been the situation. An autopsy will be done, but sad story along the way. I wanted to get your take as you covered him and those teams. I want to jump to this year's team. Let's jump to it. I just got a text in saying, Nate, the Broncos are going to crush the Lions. And I disagree. The Broncos will win. I don't know if they'll crush anybody. I know they did the Cowboys. That felt like an aberration. So they'll win because the defense is going to shut down Detroit, I expect. I don't think they crush anybody. What do you say about Sunday?
You know, I would have had that exact same answer a day ago. I think that this team's going to win against Detroit. They better win. I mean, they're a Jekyll and Hyde team.
Yeah.
They never know who you're going to get, but I can't fathom a scenario in which Detroit moves the ball. I mean, you know, the teams that have beaten the Broncos at home or done well against them in terms of competing against the Broncos defense, they're usually teams with a kind of a weird wrinkle, you know, running quarterback, catch lightning in a bottle on a certain day with the run game or you know, quarterback's hot or whatever. Detroit is devoid of real weapons on offense, and I think that, you know, Goff is not a guy that's going to beat Denver with his feet. He's not going to outsmart them. So I think the defense is going to stifle the offense. The big question is, can the offense score at all? And I think that they can, but I don't think in blowout fashion. However, the reason I said I would have said the same answer yesterday and maybe not today is this feels like one of those games, and I know the team is going to honor Demaryius Thomas at the beginning of the game, but that place is going to be charged up, and there was enough guys on this team that played with Demaryius that I think that there's going to be a different level of energy and passion and all the intangibles.
Interesting.
I mean,
Emotion. That matters.
Yeah, and I think that for this team especially, it's strange. You know, they come home against Philly and they lay an egg. Why? Because they thought they were world beaters and they could beat the Cowboys. They lost to Kansas City, so that definitely doesn't bode well for Detroit. But I think they probably, deep down, if they're being honest, think, yeah, we should handle Detroit. But I don't think there's a guy in the locker room, especially when you got leaders like Justin Simmons, Garrett Bowles, Kareem Jackson, guys that played with him and knew him well, that are going to, in any way, shape, or form, Courtland Sutton, let his legacy down on a day like Sunday when the team's going to honor him. I just think the standard will be upheld passionately by those guys, and I think that always helps the football team.
Interesting factor. I didn't factor that in. Very interesting. If they win Sunday, which they should, again, it's Lions, they should, in Denver. This is an automatic win at the beginning of the year. They're 7-6. 7-6, Doug. Now that puts us into a conversation here. Can they get to a playoff spot? It doesn't feel like they can to me. I'm just being honest, but they're in there.
I think if you look at the big picture, you know, if they run the table, I think they're in. If they run the table, I'll also be shocked. I won't be completely shocked if they went 4-1, because really they've got to beat Detroit. They've got to beat Cincinnati. That seems doable. Cincinnati at home.
Yeah.
And then they've got to beat two of the AFC West teams. Can they do that? I mean,
they might be able to beat one,
can.
though. They might be able to beat the Raiders. That would get them to 9 wins, right? That would get them to 9 wins if they beat the Raiders.
And that's the thing. I think 5 gets them in for sure. 4 is probably. 3, I think a lot of it just depends on all the things that are outside of their control. So they don't want to be in a situation where they go 3-2 here to split the year. But it's certainly not inconceivable that they go 4-1. Like I said, I think 5-0 is a stretch because this team hasn't showed that level of consistency all year long. But, you know, they have showed that they can go toe-to-toe with teams. I mean, I would even look at the Kansas City game. They could have won that game. They could not punch the ball in the end zone. And, you know, the same old stuff bites them. Special teams, coaching blunders, time mismanagement. And so those are the things that you think they have the ability to beat anyone. Can all those other things that they just can't seem to get right week in, week out come together too? That's kind of the playoff question, I think.
And you know what it feels like really quick before I let you run? If they somehow go 9-8, I'll just say 3-2 the rest of the way, 9-8. it feels like Vic Fangio comes back. Probably not Pat Shurmur, so a change here, a change there. But I think Vic's back, and I don't know if Broncos country wants that or not.
I think you're right, and I don't think they do. It just seems like a bad situation, but they're just good enough to make the argument, well, let's not upset the apple cart, but let's make sure we get a better offensive coordinator and special teams coordinator in here. Maybe you try to upgrade a quarterback if they can, but I really do fear that they get the band back together next year and see if they can improve by a game or two. It's a bad. I mean, I want them to make the playoffs, but I don't want them to make the playoffs and believe going into next year that they've solved some problems. I mean, that coaching staff is still one of the worst.
And I say I don't even know if they have to make the playoffs. That's the thing. I mean, I believe that should be the standard, but I don't know if they have to make the playoffs. They might make a change here or there, but it felt like Vic was really on that hot seat, and I've been looking at it now. I'm not so sure, depending on how the last 5 play out. Doug Ottewill, MileHighSports.com. He's live from Denver. Enjoy the weekend, man. Thanks for hopping on.
All right, thanks, Nate. Take care.
Appreciate it. Doug Ottewill tonight writes for MileHighSports.com and Mile High Sports Magazine editor D. Ottewill on Twitter. Who's hot and who's not, brought to you by the Pizza Ranch, putting a cap on a Friday show in a week that was. And then we go to high school basketball tonight. Rapid City Central, Aberdeen Central, 7 o'clock tonight. Tomorrow, 1:30, Stevens, Aberdeen Central. High school hoops starting right here on Fox Sports Rapid City this weekend. In my Who's Hot category, brought to you by the Pizza Ranch, it's got to be the Oklahoma Sooners' new football coach, Brent Venables. Venables comes from Clemson. He was the D coordinator, right? He gets one of the richest contracts for a first-year head coach. He's never been a head coach. Never been a head coach. Great coordinator. Sometimes they work out. Sometimes they don't. I've seen this over the years. But Venables going to be a first-year head coach and getting $7.25 million a year. $7.25 million a year. That's not Mel Tucker money or Brian Kelly money, but it's a lot of money for a first-year guy. First-year guy, Venables, new head coach for the Sooners, $7.25 million a year. In our Pizza Ranch Who's Not category, this is an easy one. I'll let you go this weekend on this. NCAA President Mark Emmert, he was talking this week. He was telling people all sorts of things going on with the NCAA. And, he said trust is a factor and it's suffering and college sports is changing. You know what else he said? Here's a real quote. Mark Emmert, the president of the NCAA, said, quote, being a university president is the hardest job in America right now. Mark, maybe check into current events. Thanks for listening. Have a great weekend. I appreciate it. Check the podcast. It'll be up there, all 5 shows this week. Good guests across the board. High school basketball tonight at 7. Tomorrow at 1:30. The Nate Brown Show back on a Monday. The Odd Couple on the way.
Milwaukee